All right, Nick, let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a team that quietly is becoming a monster, Nick. And it's not really that quietly. I think it's just more so there was a lot of other teams early on in the season that were making noise. People talked about Tyreek Hill's gone. Is that going to make a big difference? I think we've all figured out clearly it did not really make that big of a difference. Tyreek Hill is a heck of a player for the Dolphins, but Patrick Mahomes in his own right can really work with just about anybody, it seems. So this Chiefs team is a juggernaut, and that's what we want to know, Nick. Before we get into our story about the Chiefs, Chiefs fans, you're a juggernaut. You're winning all these games. How many more are you going to win this season? Let us know in the comments below what you think the win total, what you think your record is going to be at the end of the season. But Nick, what do you got on this Chiefs team?
So, yeah, you brought it up. The Chiefs, they continue to win games. They haven't skipped a beat with Tyreek Hill gone. Obviously, moved on to Miami. Some new additions on offense, whether it's Tony, MVS, Juju Smith-Schuster, who hopefully gets better soon. So this is kind of a team in flux, and they haven't skipped a beat. Obviously, they've been very good this season. But, one of their, or probably their number one rivals, the Buffalo Bills. We feel like we get all this Bills hype all the time. Right? The Bills are great. They're the best team in football by far. They're just Josh Allen's a machine. The fact of the matter is, right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are in the prime position to come out of the AFC again and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. So coming into this weekend, this is according to 538, the Bills had a slight edge on the Chiefs as the favorite to lead the AFC out of the Super Bowl this season. The Bills and Chiefs both right around 17% odds. Third place were the Ravens at 6% and the Titans at 4%. So obviously the Bills and Chiefs were clearly 1 and 2. So again, right around 17%, the Bills had a very, very slight edge. But after the Chiefs come up with that 27-17 win against the Jaguars, which granted, it was an ugly win. They had a couple bad turnovers. They gave up the onside kick like the first play of the game. But still, you play bad and you win by double digits. That's a sign you're usually a pretty good football team. Coming after that win, paired with the Bills overtime loss, the Kansas City Chiefs now have a 21 chance to win this Super Bowl out of every AFC team. 21% chance. The Buffalo Bills are now 12%. So think about that for a second, Maya. So the Ravens are at 6% to finish that out. So the gap between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, this is according to 538, they do all the odds predictions and things like that, is bigger than the gap between the Bills and the Ravens. So everyone was on the Bills train. Everyone said, oh, this is the Bills year. They're the number one juggernauts. Well, here we are, Mize, a little more than halfway through the season, and the Chiefs are right again, the clear number one, clear-cut favorite. The road to the Super Bowl most likely is going to go through Kansas City yet again, and they're in prime position to head back. The Chiefs, look, they outsmart everyone with how they draft. They made a lot of savvy moves, and once again, they are in the pole position to lead the AFC. What do you think of the Chiefs? You brought up the phrase juggernaut. I mean, there almost isn't a better word to describe where they are just once again.
Yeah, Nick, and I think the big thing for me is when I look at the Chiefs, I look at the quarterback, I look at the trigger man, Patrick Mahomes, and this is a guy, Nick, over the course of his career, averages. This isn't his highs, this is his average. Averages 300, and if you do a little rounding, 300 yards and 3 touchdowns per game. It's a pretty insane number to
It's
average.
ridiculous. Yeah.
It's absurd. And with the addition of a guy like Kadarius Toney to this team, who looks like he's got some pop, he's almost Tyreek Hill-esque big time playmaker. He had the big time play last week as well. This Chiefs team was very good, and now they look to be even better. And Nick, I think something we talked about last week, this Chiefs team, Trent McDuffie looks really well. He's graded out so far this season 76.5 coverage grade per PFF. He looks like a true number one corner for this team. Now L'Jarius Sneed has someone on the opposite side of the ball that is matching of his skill level. This secondary from the Chiefs is now starting to go from having been a liability to be a strength for this team, Nick. The front four is building up. Clark is Jones has been probably one of the best players in the NFL this season. And Karlaftis is coming up to be a juggernaut. I just think that's the only word I can think of when I think of the Chiefs, Nick. Juggernaut. This is a team that cannot be stopped. And the more momentum, the faster they start to build up, you just cannot stop them. They're going to blow through the competition. And I think 21% or whatever it was is kind of a low percentage for them to make it all the way. I think that they could easily, you say 35, 40% chance. And I'll be like, that's a decent odds. I'd bet money on that.
Well, it's 21%. I misspoke the first time. It's 21% for them to win the Super Bowl They have this.
Okay.
So right now, 21% chance to win the Super Bowl, not go to the Super Bowl. I misspoke the first time I said it. But still, think about that. That includes obviously the NFC team. So that's, include all the teams in the NFC, all the teams in the AFC. The Chiefs are clearly the number one team most likely to win the Super Bowl yet again. And I'm just blown away because this was a team, right? We're coming off an era in the AFC where the Patriots were always contenders. They're always going to the NFC, AFC championship game, always going making Super Bowl runs. And everyone's like, we're never going to see this again. A team that's just the number one seed every year. They're always making a deep playoff run. And here we go. The Chiefs, the Patriots era ends. And here are the Chiefs with this team. They're just as good, just as consistent. I mean, that's the level that Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes are. When the standard in the conference is Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, most people would consider that an impossible standard to meet. Well, Mahomes and Reid are meeting that standard. And we see it yet again, right? So every time, it was the same way with the Patriots, right? Every few years you hear a contender, oh, this team is going to be the team to knock off the Patriots. The Patriots era is coming to an end. Just like this year, oh, this is the year of the Buffalo Bills. Hey, they finally beat the Chiefs earlier this year, 24-20. And what have the Chiefs done since? They won 3 straight games. They look really good. The Buffalo Bills have kind of fallen off a little bit with a couple losses. It looks like the Chiefs are once again clearly the number one team in the AFC and frankly the number one team in the NFL. I don't see a team beating this team in the playoffs. I just really don't. Going to Kansas City is too tough, especially in that environment. The Chiefs, once again, are just unstoppably good. And I think the scariest part to the rest of the NFL, Mize, and you kind of alluded to it, is they're younger. They're younger. They're more athletic. They're explosive. They're more dynamic in some positions, especially on defense. You brought up McDuffie, Karlaftis. This is a faster, more spirited, younger group. Mahomes is still an amazing trigger man. They're just as good as they've ever been and maybe even more explosive in some areas. So this team is, like you said, I think the word is perfect. They're a juggernaut.